Hello everyone, it's been a little while since the last deck and fight, but we're back in full swing and full action as I need to cover not just the remaining fighter selection stuff, but also these last couple of set 4 decks, with also set 5 being here, and I have Grand Blue and Aqua Force to also cover, so there's quite a few things. And also, you know, with the current world events, I think for a lot of people, there's a lot of uneasiness, and, you know, myself included, there's a lot of uneasiness, a lot of, you know, negative emotions. And so I hope that, you know, with these videos, with this content, that you can maybe look forward to some things or just are able to enjoy this kind of content. And I'll do my best to also, you know, present the kind of things that will also make you laugh or make you smile or make you be interested. And so please, thank you so much for watching this, and let's have a good time playing this game, you know, even with all the things happening. I still want to, you know, spread Vanguard, let more people know about this amazing game, and in general just have a good time with it. So that being said, today we're going to be playing with the deck that is arguably one of the best in the current meta, which is actually Celestials. So Angels, Gabriel, as well as Celestials are really good right now, and some people play them pure, some people don't. And in this last weekend's Zero Winter Championship, which I've uploaded the VOD of, by the way, on YouTube if you want to check it out, we actually saw, you know, quite a big representation of Celestials or Angel Feathers in general. So that was actually quite exciting. So here's the deck that we're going to be playing today. So essentially, there's quite a few things going on here, quite a few old cards, quite a few new cards that you guys don't have in Global just yet until next week, but let's break it down and talk about it. So of course, the Legions are being played still. So of course, first we have the Celestial Legion, the Batorel, which calls out a card from your damage. So when you Legion, put a card from your top deck to damage, and then call a card from damage to rear and give it plus 5k. And if you call the face down, it goes face down. And of course, you have another unit in the middle column, she gets plus 3k. But the one I like going into more is the Malgadiel. So she gives plus 2k to your front row if you're in Legion, and if you have a same name copy as her in, or your Legion mate when you're in Legion in your damage zone, then you get another plus 2k to the front row. So basically it's a nice little way to buff things as you do your multi-attacks, because yes, there's a lot of multi-attacks now. You know, quite surprising, but that is the case. So both Legions are used, and Gabriel is of course used as the backup. Why am I not playing the SP one? All right, that's better. There we go. So we do play one copy of Gabriel simply because she's still a nice backup to go into, and she can be searched off of these strike fighters if you have like no grade 3s in hand. So yeah, her on-strike skill is count +1, look at top 3, put 1 to damage, and then call 1 from damage. If you call the face down, it goes face down. And GB2, every time you put a card to damage, your front row gets plus 2k on both players' turns. So very good effect. That's why she is, you know, the best girl in Vanguard unit history. But aside from that, of course, we have heal guards, but the main addition that made this deck really good aside from the G-Zone is Harut. So Harut says when attacks the Vanguard while being boosted, you can count +1 if you're on GB1, look at top 3, put 1 to damage, and then choose a card from your damage zone and call it, and if you call the face down, the card you put goes face down as well. So that's also just really good. It enables multi-attacks together with the Asmodel, who on hit Vanguard count +1 puts itself to damage zone and then calls the card from damage zone, so that's also a way to extend. And the Danielle, which I used to play as a 4 of, but felt really clunky as a 4 of. I think 2 or 3 is a good ratio, and like you basically just reduce copies of Hell, I think, as you increase more Danielles. But I've been having a good time with 2, although sometimes it does feel like it's missing. It really depends on the shuffler at times. Like some games I hit them very early and I'm like, damn it, I don't need this. Sometimes I hit them at the right moment in the mid game where I actually want them. Sometimes I don't see them at all. So Danielle says in the damage zone, when during your turn another card is put into your damage zone, count +2 and then call this card and put the top card of your deck into your damage zone. So this is something you gotta be careful with, because it's when a card is put, it's not when a card is taken from the damage zone. So make sure that she's already in the damage zone before you activate the effect, because otherwise you will miss the timing. So be careful with that. And of course the Hail is the other Legion mate, and also the only form of countercharge outside of using like the no CLs or like the grade 1, the Narel. So she's an 11k attacker when your Vanguard is a Celestial, and when her attack hits a Vanguard, if your Vanguard is a Celestial, you can, if you have a card with the same name as your Vanguard in your damage zone, then she countercharges once. So good card, definitely a nice little card to have for sure, but don't really use her as much, just kind of there to be an easy call target at times, because there are times when you have to just like call an extra front row attacker and you don't want to call a grade 3 to hit the 11k, you just want to call this because it can still hit 11k on its own. Aside from that, we have of course Stride Fighters, PGs, pretty self-evident. I play 2 ponies. Every time you put a card to damage, gets 2k, so it's a nice little like stackable power booster. And of course on the good Harut turns, that's very useful. And then we have 3 Narels. Narel is when placed on rear, you put a Celestial into your damage zone, and if you did, you put a card from your damage zone into your hand. So you have to put a Celestial from hand to activate the skill, but then what you take from damage zone can be anything. anything. So you can take your Haruts, you can take your heal guards, you can take your PGs, you can take your strike fighters, right? The reason why I play her instead of Nociel is simply because of the numbers, right? She's a 7k, which means that what you can do sometimes is basically call her off of a Harut and then proc her skill in order to proc a Danielle in the damage zone. That way you get to refresh an entire column if you have the CB for it, and she kind of countercharges too because she puts a card and you can take a face down without any penalties. That's also very good. Sunny Smile Angel is still the heal of choice here. I think that's pretty self-evident. It's an extra heal in deck. We like 5 heals. For the Stride lineup, I play one of the Mikhael, which is the best going first, like, not going first, the best first stride in the deck. She says, during once per turn, if your heart is a Celestial, counterblast 1, look at top 3 of your deck, and then put 1 into the damage zone, and then call a card in the damage zone and give it plus 5k power. And if you call the face down, the card you put goes also face down. And then, if you have a card in your damage zone that has the same name as one of your hearts, then this gains a crit. So it's also very good because for first stride to gain a crit like that, and also Spirit Call, and also give power is really, really good. But sometimes when your opponent kind of heals out and you still, like, it's not really like you're on 2 damage or something and don't want to go into the Raphael, you can go into the Uriel, who has an on-hit Vanguard skill, look at top 3, call 1 from damage, and then give the called unit plus 2k. So this is a battle phase skill, so this way you can kind of turn your field a bit nicer, whereas this has to be done in the main phase. That's kind of their differences, but you can honestly play 2 Mikhaels instead if you want to. Like, it's pretty easy. This is like a mass countercharger in the Raziel, so when placed on Vanguard Circle, so blast 2, and then put all of your cards in damage zone back to deck, and then for every card you put the top card into your damage zone without going face up, without going face down, sorry, so it's all face up. And then finally, the Raphael. So of course, you can play this as a 2-of, but it is recommended to have 4 because her skill is GB2, once per turn, G Persona Blast, heal 1 damage, so it's pretty good. You know, having potentially 7 heals in a deck is never bad, right? Never bad. So yeah, that's basically the whole deck. It's pretty smooth. The reason why this deck is stronger than pure Gavril is because it can solve its own deck out issue, where you usually just like Legion on turn 4 if you're going second, or 5 if you're going first, and then you kind of start doing the aggression with the Haruts, and you can re-Legion every turn without much of a penalty. So that's the deck. Now let's get into some games and see the deck in action. Alright, let's see who our first one will be. Kagero. Wow, that's kind of fitting. Hanjo versus Rin is kind of fitting. Alright, let's get into it and see how this is going to go down. Kagero matchup is actually quite okay. You don't really mind your stuff getting burned. So we'll see how it goes. Stride Fighter I kind of want to keep because we're going second. Same with the PG. Worst case, we use this to find the Gavril, but I think it's okay to not go for a super hard mulligan. The extra Harut is appreciated because we can actually call this one down. So pretty good start, I would say, actually. Pretty good start. I think we're looking good from the very get-go, but my opponent is going first. Let's see what kind of deck they're playing. You know, this could be Overlord, this could be Mr. Blade Master, but from the sleeves and, you know, the character I'm gonna assume is gonna be Blade Master here. But let's find out. Let's find out. This is so far looking like Blade Master. I'll say that much. But yeah, how have you guys been enjoying the current Zero meta? I know that a lot of people do like the Fighters Collection Edition, and of course we have the Winter Circuit coming up tomorrow, basically. Like, it's in the middle of the night on Friday for me here in Europe, but I know for, I guess, people in Asia it's like Saturday morning. So how are you preparing for that if you're playing in it? I think it's going to be a fun time. I'm quite excited. We're commentating once again with Kai, and it was a really good time last time around too. Also, I need to forget to not have the animations off because, of course, the right animations are nice for these kind of videos. We're going to choose not to put the heal back here just yet. You know, Tejas shouldn't be a factor here, so I'm going to assume my starter is safe to exist. But yeah, if you're playing in the Winter Circuit, how are you preparing? I know we hit like record high sign-up numbers, so that's honestly really hype. There's like over 300 people participating, so should be a pretty good time. Should be a pretty good time for the qualifier, and on top, like, I think people saw how good the organization was from Elephant, like when they organized the the first Zero qualifier this season. And like, honestly, even I was surprised. I was like, we were commentating and like we finished like, what, it was like 7 or 8 rounds in like, what, 4 hours, 5 hours. Like, it was something insane. I was like, how are we progressing so quickly? Like, it's actually unprecedented. So I was really impressed. I was really impressed with how smooth the whole thing was. And yeah, it's gonna be hype. Like, we still have the final stream in March for the global side too, and that should be more or less the same thing as well. So I'm super hyped. I'm super hyped. I really hope they do more of those Zero events. I think that's probably like part of the big morale drop for people. It's just like, you know, the qualifiers and the circuits. You know, like we have the winter qualifier, like we have the winter one, and then we had a spring one last year, and then we had a summer one the year before that. So it's like, you know, it'd be nice if they were just always happening every single season. And I think that from an organizational perspective, it shouldn't be that hard to implement too. I mean, you can see the JP side implements them very smoothly, right? Without much of an issue. So there's hoping that they implement them nicely. Okay, we get a heal in our damage as the first damage, which means we can search this out. Or we heal it out and we just, you know, legion it back. That works too. Alright, so we counter charges, and that's going to be the end of the turn for my opponent. It does look like their connection is a little bit shifty here. Oh, Gabriel, my wife, hello. I think, do I want to ride the Harut? I think it's fine to ride it for now. I'll ride it for now. Put the heal back, no need to really aggress at this point. My hand will be quite big, but I'm a little bit worried for what he could do. Oh, wow, look at that. We do heal it out. We do heal it out. That's 2 heals we can put back. We're not playing against Vanquisher here, so we don't have to worry about our drop zone. That's the one thing as well, like Vanquisher. Like, people were saying, like, oh, Vanquisher should be so popular in the Night Rose meta. It's like, there's the Night Rose meta, but there's this deck too, and Nemuel, which are both Legion decks that, you know, get punished for not having a drop zone. But, you know, that's, just didn't show up enough. I'm still gonna, I think people wanted, let me know in the comments, I guess, I asked this on Twitch, but let me know if you want a video covering all of the top 16 deck lists from the Zero Championship Winter, so you know what kind of meta it's gonna look like in set 5, because it is quite different from the past sets. This set definitely revived a deck, and also made Grand Blue viable, and also top tier for the first time in its history, which is, in Zero that is, which is also very nice. Oh, we get the Legion that I want too, which is very good. So here we're gonna go into the Mikhael, dropping the Gabriel here, I think, because I only have 1 grade 1 in hand, so I kind of want to call it out. Alright, let's ride into Mikhael, and we don't have a Legion mate in the damage, so unfortunately we will not get the full effect in order to, you know... Oh, that's a nice little... You know, I think I'll put the PG in, keep the heals in the deck, and then call out the grade 2. So yeah, we're not going to push too much, obviously, because we don't have that much CB. And this only countercharges if we have a same name, so which we don't, so it's a bit unfortunate. This might be enough, to be honest, and we can just hold off a little bit, or I can choose to push a little bit harder. It's a bit tough. Because a lot of these cards I want to keep for next turn, but I'm at 7 cards in hand, and I think majority of my draws are still in deck. Yeah, I have 6 draws. I think what we can risk is this. Because it's a multi-attacker with an on-hit, and we'll also call this out. This makes my opponent also commit more resources to protect, you know, to kind of break down my board. It gets the heal, which really hurts, so I'm getting punished for my little aggression here. But let's see if it does truly backfire or not. Oh, Narel there. We get a heal that whiffs, expected. Get another trigger though. We do not. Okay, so it's not gonna hit. Unfortunate that my commitment is being punished, but alas, so be it. So be it. So yeah, next turn, we either Legion again or we just Legion, like, you either Stride again or we just Legion these 4 triggers back. Honestly, Legioning is fine, but the Harut is most effective when your point's like 5 or 4 at least, right? So committing at this point is really not that worth it yet, so we might just go into like Udiel or something, because Udiel also doesn't cost CB. Udiel doesn't cost CB, she calls anything and then puts face down, whereas this costs CB, you know, so it's a little bit unfortunate. Okay, what are we going into? Mustafa, no, it's gonna be the Zam. Zam's good, I mean, it's CB2 to clear the whole front row, which is, you know, if you ask me, that's pretty damn good. But alas, the one good thing is that my back row should be pretty safe, because that means that the Neoflame doesn't do anything, as there was no, you know, Neoflame on the board at the time of the retire. So even if it gets called out, what? Is that a Tejas? It's a Tejas. Just when I said it's not a factor. Just when I said it's not a factor, they dropped the Tejas on me. I swear to God. Okay. Well, that's a new tech I haven't seen in a while. Also, this is actually a way to get rid of my back row. That's interesting. My commitment is being punished, and I don't know how to deal with it. So we're gonna go to 4 this turn. Pretty, you know, it's pretty confirmed here. Now I need a way to put this Danielle into the damage zone, which will require that Narel that we just saw there. So that's why, like, my ratios are a bit risky as well, because of course you can run Narel at 4, put the ponies down, but the deck is quite toolboxy that I don't get too worried about these things. So we are going to get pushed to 4. I have 1 defensive card in hand, but if I search out the Narel from my from the Harut, we can swap. So it's actually not too bad. And then set up for a... Ooh, the heal there is kind of nasty. So yeah, we definitely don't want to use Harut here. Then it's like, what do we use? I kind of want a Legion here to get the heals back. Now the damage difference is 4 to 2, so I really want a Legion here to get these heals back in the deck. So I think we just go for it, to be honest. We have another Legion for next turn if necessary, so I think here we're gonna just Legion up and put these cards back. And then next turn we might stride again. So this is gonna be a slow push. There's also why this deck is able to play the long game, is because you heal a lot and you're able to fetch out your defensives from your damage zone, which is very, very good. Alright, so with this, I will use a Harut this turn. Choosing to... might need this Legion more than the other one, actually. So we're gonna overcall this and get bashing. So this is gonna go rear. And then the other one is gonna go rear as well. We check what we can... We see what we can check, rather, not we check what we can see. Although, that, I guess, kind of makes sense in this context, too. Alright, only a twin drive. So here, we basically just want to Harut into a defensive play to set up Danielle for later. So, Harut will put a... Ooh! This technically can extend the whole column, but I could also just fetch a PG out. He's at 11k, so there is a chance I could hit here. I think I need to start equalizing the damage difference. I'm gonna go for the slightly riskier play here. So we're gonna call you out, because we also set up double intercept with this too, right? So this goes face down. This first activates its skill. We put the Danielle in here, and we're gonna grab the heal guard out. Technically, can grab the Danielle as well, but I think the heal guard is more important at this point. But... Yeah, we're gonna take the heal guard. Take the heal guard and still procs the Danielle. Unfortunately, don't find out if he hits a defensive until after this battle ends. So let's see what the outcome is gonna be. Alright, there we go. Does he hit one? Oh, of course he does. The double defensive doesn't... The double intercept doesn't really matter as much in this case either. Yeah, and Kagero might actually be a rougher matchup than I thought. I've underestimated it. Alright. Let's see if I get... How hard I get punished. I don't even know if I can call that being punished so hard. It's just like... I really needed to push him to 4 there. But I guess next turn, worst case, like now we don't need to like desperately Legion, so we can just stride into Raphael and heal up. Because I'm assuming I'm going to get pushed to 5 here. He's going to go into a Mustafa. That will pop both of my front rows, and if he doesn't call down any Neo Flames, my back row should be okay too. But at least I showed off this little interaction between these two cards. Like, it's a nice little interaction. No, the Neo Flame, it had to be. Alright, well, he's gonna burn through his CB here. Another Tejas. Wow, this is like a really control build of Blade Master. I guess the Tejas isn't too bad when you're just not really focused on winning that quickly. You can just kind of like starve your opponent's resources and make them really commit a lot. But he's doing a good job so far. Oh, but he gave that skill to the rear, which I think means he's gonna swing that at Vanguard in the end. Which is fine. Alright, goodbye, Narelle. You've been a real one. Alright, 13 to face. My back row is still safe. Another Narelle in the damage, which means we can technically also ride this at some point to do some swappies. But let's see. Oh my god, okay. The Narelles keep going to the damage, which is a little bit alarming, but it's not the biggest deal. At least with this, a heal guard will stave off the damage, and we should be okay. This game's gonna be long, man. These games are gonna be long. I was playing this deck on stream for a while, and like the games weren't that long. They were quite like average sized, but this game is gonna go the long route. I'm thinking if it's even worth to stride at this point, or maybe we just Legion again and bulk up our defenses, because it's just a little rough right now. I think honestly I might Legion and try to just farm with Harut a bit. Either that, I think we tried to farm up resources, put the heals back, that kind of stuff. We have 2 heals here out of the rotation, so to say. So I think that's probably the smart choice. PG, I think I'll keep in damage for the countercharge. The countercharge isn't that important though. Maybe putting Harut back is more important. No, I'll put the PG back. We can live without the countercharge for now. I'll just Legion with the Hell and see what happens. Alright, so we get to top deck something into damage. If I top deck a PG, it's actually not bad, because then I can Narel. Wow, I actually did. This could be a Narel, put the Celestial Legion into damage, and then just set up. Yeah, so we use her effect first to grab the PG. Oh, maybe I should have CB'd first. Oh, misplay. Damn it. And then this calls itself out. This calls itself out, and we can still bash at all areas that require bashing. And with that, our defense... Oh no, the heal went in. That's unfortunate. Alright, good enough. Good enough, I think, for now. But damn, this game is a slugger. This game is really slow. It's slow and it's a painful grind. The heal comes through. Can we heal down to 3? That would be much appreciated. We don't. We don't, but hope is not lost. My opponent also doesn't heal. That's his last one. I can keep recuperating mine, but... Alright. The slow stand and draw to start the turn off. Let's see. What will be the play here? My opponent has gone through quite a few. Well, not that many. I mean, he can go to a Root Flare and it still bodies my entire board. Yeah, this matchup is worse than I thought. I definitely underestimated how bad this matchup is. Definitely underestimated this matchup. Because I haven't been playing against Kagero much, so I was like, oh, it's fine, you know, it's fine. But now he's going in. He'll be going in. This can pop any rear, right? Yeah, any rear guard, wow. No restriction. Alright, goodbye intercept, then goodbye... Probably my back row, because you can attack into the front row. But I can still live this turn. Oh, interesting, okay. I can still live this turn, but I'm kind of thinking, like, what happens then? What happens after I live this turn? You know, I'll have the CB, but my Harut is in the damage. Oh, that doesn't hit. Wait. Okay. That don't hit. Did he make a fumble, or was that intentional? I'm assuming that was intentional, but I guess I only burn 1 PG then. Which means I don't have CB, which means, oh, that's kind of nice. If we can stride next turn, I can Raphael to stabilize. Because he only has 1 intercept now, so he can definitely stabilize a little bit. But it's still going to be rough. It's still going to be tough. Alright. I only have heals in... I mean, they only have PGs in hand, so him gaining power doesn't really matter, even if he does trigger more here. He only has like 1 trigger left in deck, though. If he does. Right. So, on the trigger front, I shouldn't be, you know, shouldn't be getting destroyed too hard. So, let's see. Okay, double grade 2. What's more worth? Trying to go face. He definitely has PGs in hand, right? So, I think just struggle striding into Raphael is more worth it. I think stabilizing with a heal is big while he's still on 4, and I can still proc my own 3 in deck. We draw into a grade 3, and now I'm thinking if it's worth to hold the line with this one. Because I will run out of legions, I will run out of strike fighters. Still have 3 legions in deck actually, so maybe not. I do want to push some damage to try to balance out this difference, but it's a little rough. I could have also technically made 2 different columns and like push triggers into the grade 1, but for now it's kind of okay. We get a draw, which is good. That's a stride fodder for next turn. Alright, we only got 1 trigger, so it wouldn't have actually mattered, but I think I still should have played to my outs a little bit better there. We have 1 PG and 3 attacks coming into my face, so we'll have to pray for either a heal here or drawing into one of my 2 PGs, and one of them just went to the bottom, so the chances aren't super hot. But let's see it. I think going into the Raphael was the right call because double intercept doesn't really mean much against Blade Master. Even if I damage starve them, he doesn't stride. Interesting. His hand must be really defensive, I guess. Okay, he has the crit pressure at this point, so he can swing. If I hit a defensive, I might just barely stay alive. Just barely. Okay, I stay alive no matter what. Okay, he's going the control route, and I don't blame him, but that's actually a relief for me. That's actually a relief for me. Swings, that's correct. 1 PG down. Important. Okay, 1 PG at the bottom. That's good to know. I think it'll still be hard to crack these defenses, but we are making the right moves, I think. And will he use the skill here? That's the most interesting thing for me. 1 CB left, none. No CB left, all heals are out. He does play the greats, but they've all been checked, I think. We check a draw, which is actually pretty big. Do we have heals we can put back? We have 1 heal, 2 draws in the PG. We draw into PG as well. I think this might be... We don't have Haruts anymore. That kind of hurts. 3 heals in deck, and now on 5. In an 8-card deck, too. It's so tough. It's really tough. I'm thinking whether I want a Legion here or not. Even if I do, then I can't really launch that many attacks, like 2 tops, essentially, right? Whereas if I stride, I can do a bit better. So I think we just play for the Raphael here. I think we play for the second Raphael. Try to make something happen here. And like Zero is still really fun gameplay wise. Like there's so many, it's fun to solve these gameplay loops and like think about what the right move is and those kind of things. Like it is a really enjoyable experience, right? You just wish the monetary side of things would be a bit better, right? So if I call down this grade 3, that's my last Legion. I basically give up on Legioning for the rest of the game. Which I might be okay with. If I play for the win and starve the resources. I think we have to play for the win here. So we have 3 heals in deck, so if I proc all 3, this will be hard to guard, let's say. I don't want to proc all 3 here, but alas, that's how the cookie crumbles, right? Only 2. So I have 1 heal in deck. Probably should have played that better. All heals are out though, so he's only relying on PGs here. So that's the second one gone. If I can somehow survive this turn, there is a dash of hope in being able to pierce the last bit of defenses, because then he's left with 1 PG because he has 1 at the bottom here. And so as long as it doesn't put up double intercept, would be safe-ish. But of course I'll lose his PG, so I have 1 card in hand. It's very difficult. It's very difficult, but I like these games that are super close. Which is, you know, it's fun to have these games that are like on the line to the last second. You know, very, very back and forth. He has the... Oh! Isn't that his last trigger? It is! That's the final trigger, which means that he can't Legion back his stuff anymore and try not to deck out. That is actually off the table now. Interesting. So he's still going in with the intent of retiring everything. Which I guess with this guy in the back, that's pretty realistic. Oh, is he gonna go for the countercharge instead? Okay. Well, this doesn't countercharge, but swing Vanguard first. Still have a heal. Still have a heal. Oh my god, it procs. If he... Wait, he can't check triggers. I survive. I actually survive. The defensive saved me. Jesus Christ. The defensive actually saves me. That's nuts. That's actually nuts. Okay. This doesn't hit. We don't keep our front row. He'll attack into it. Need to top deck a grade 2. It's a 50-50 chance. 50-50 to top deck a grade 2 that might give us the win. Might. This is very back and forth. This is gonna be a close battle. We check a grade 2. Oh my god. This is our only chance. Our only dash of hope is that he doesn't have a second PG in hand, but I think he might. I haven't really been keeping track, but I think he does. Yep, he does. Alright, well played. Well played. Well played. It was close. I think I probably should have Legioned earlier. I think what I should have probably done is done the stride that recycles my, you know, damage back to deck. To put these heals back, I don't know. It's really hard to, it's really hard to say in instances like this, right? It's just one of those one of those tricky situations, but he does have the game here. Can swing the Vanguard first to deal 2 damage, and then I draw for deck out, which is definitely the real. Definitely real. Alright, that's gonna be GG's. Very long game too, good god. But that's an accurate representation of Celestial games, to be honest. Like, if it goes neck and neck, you're in there for a long one. You're in there for a long one. But alright, let's play a second one and see how things will go down. All right, second game. It's time to go. Let's run it. Ooh, Zeraf. Nice. It's one of our Discord members running Narukami. Now, this is Vanguard, this might be a little bit hard, but I'm hoping for Brawlers, which is also hard, but not as bad, I want to say. We're going first, so we can toss the other Stride Fodder. Just keep the one that we use as a ride target, and we should be okay. But let's see, this could be a hard matchup again. Damn, Red Clans do kind of pose an issue, huh? I didn't really respect it at first, think when going into this, but they really do be posing a bit of an issue. That's for sure. All right. So we start off going first. It's not great, but it also means we can do a little pushing with the Asmodel, so I'm not, you know, it's not in shambles. It is Vanquisher. Ooh, we're gonna have to be careful. Gonna have to be a little careful about what we can make to the board, because it might be poofed into non-existence very quickly. So gotta watch out. Gotta watch out a little bit. I think here I will not push yet. We will just ride the hell, and oh damn, I do go to an 8-card hand, don't I? And I guess this is the one time where it's okay to push because he doesn't get any kind of control just yet. So I think we'll try to go along with that and see what we can do. Okay, no defensive is cool. I will not use their skill because the only time where the intercept will do something, although might get binded out of drop before I can legion it back, which is a bit unfortunate, but for the sake of pushing and not overdrawing, I think it's okay. Alright. We also get the grade 1, which is very good news for us. And then next turn, we can go for a bit of a softer push if necessary, but yeah, he's going to call down a Chatura here, so he has to go rear, or Van into rear, and then rear into Van, which is fine, but the dangers and the risks are there. Alright. Well, we get the grade 2 in damage, that's good. That's good for once we Legion. Gabriel is found. That's actually an okay call target here. So we're gonna ride into the Mercadier, and call the Gabriel, I think, to just trade out the intercept. And I don't mind if she gets cleared out here. We're gonna try to keep things a bit minimal, as I know I'm gonna get that bound away. But then again, she's also Stride Fodder, so she would be going to the drop zone anyway and getting bound away anyway. Ah, the heal hurts. The heal hurts, but we live with it. All right, what can my opponent do? Oh, all right. Let's see. Zeraf. Oh, he has the little. Oh, that's so nice. Zeraf has the little Dokurisu banner. That means that he has submitted a question and had it answered by the Dokovan stream. So Dokovan is a Thursday stream, you know, the Thursday stream that Bushro does, where this week we got some actual Vanguard 0 news. Oh, that's so nice. That's so sweet. It's cool to see that. You don't really see that so much from the overseas folks. So that's quite sweet. All right. Going in with the Chatura here is going to be binding my grade 2, which is okay, and this is going to get bound, of course, as well. So far, the damage isn't super bad. The heal gets procced. This gives him another target, though. That's a bit unfortunate, because it does bind 2, so both of my draws are gone now from the rotation, and it's only going to get worse from here on out, so we got to push, and push well. Let's go. All right. Let's drop the extra copy of the grade 3 here. Wish I had Stride Fighters at this point. Wouldn't hurt as bad, but alas, it is what it is. Mikhael will be our target here. What do we even call out? I guess the grade 2, I suppose. Let's get almost 1 and see what we find. Almost 1 and see what we find. A PG is pretty good, actually. A PG is pretty good. We're gonna call this out. We can technically refill our whole front row with just these calls, which is quite nice, because this now procs as well, and then we can use the grade 1 to ensure that we hit the right numbers. And also, you know, get a face-up damage. So here we're gonna use this, putting the grade 2 in the damage, and then swapping the PG out. There's 2 heals in there, which is a bit annoying, but it's not the end of the world. And so not, I mean, we didn't have this, the actual Legion grade 3 in the damage to gain the crit here, which has been kind of lacking, not gonna lie. Ooh, no defensive. Does invite aggression on my side. I will go in here. Oh, I can only call out the thing that isn't Asmodel. Right. That's not good. That's really not good. I forgot that those were my only targets. Whoopsies. Why do I only misplay when I film these videos sometimes, you know? I'll be like playtesting, practicing, like, yeah, okay, I feel good now. And then boom, misplay all over the place. God damn it, dude. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed. I've brought shame to my family. To my creed. Oh, man. Alright, well, it's not the end of the world. It's a tough matchup to begin with, but we're at 2-4, which is a pretty good position to be in. I'm still holding on to my Harut here. It's just that I don't know, like, I need to get really lucky to be putting a lot of stuff to drop. You'll also notice that a lot of Narukami decks started to play the Voltage Horn again in JP, because now that is one of the few cards that can bind stuff. The cards that can bind stuff are Voltage Horn, Vanguard Stride Skill, and Zoras. Nothing else. So, yep, here we go. It's gonna be targeting my heal probably. No, it's my grade 1. Alright. Fair. Goodbye, 2 heals. Yeah, like, he binds my stuff faster than I can breathe. You know, faster than I can actually do anything, so... It hurts, but at least... Oh, he heals down too. Okay. Okay. Understandable. That's the second PG I've seen go to the bottom, though, which is kind of nice. At least. Okay, so he just passes here. 1 card in drop. Sucks. This hurts. We have to keep striding and surviving. Striding and surviving is the rule of the game. We're gonna go into Raphael here. Alright, the heal comes back. Let's go into Raphael, I suppose. Heal down and try to persevere. See how that goes. We can also Harut into a booster and just do stuff, overcall stuff, and try to do whatever we can to persevere. We will heal first. So Persona Blast to heal. That's good. And then we will make a line with the heal and the Harut. And technically I don't need to commit the other Harut. Well, I kind of need to, but I don't have to. Is it actually worth it, I wonder? I need to push some kind of aggression, but I need to keep Strike Fighters in hand, otherwise I'm in trouble. But losing all my Haruts like that is gonna really suck in the long term. I think we might be able to play this slow and start to dwindle down the CB he has so we can start binding less. I think we're gonna just pass on this and just pass on this grade 2 in the field. And then you can only use Vanquisher's skill and nothing else. We don't have any other targets. Get a draw, we can recuperate some losses here too, so that's good. We have a Stride Fodder. Okay, and a draw goes to the drop that we can put back, hopefully. With that, we're gonna pass. Draw a PG, that's really good, and the heal goes back too, and we're at the same amount of damage, so I can still proc my heals, which is very good. And I think my draws are dwindling down to 1 left in deck. And my heals are also evaporating very quickly. He will stride. I'm assuming going to Zoras again? Yup. So rough. It's so rough, dude. This matchup in particular is... I've warned people before. It is really hard. Even when you give them 0 CB, it's still really hard. But at least now I can still have 2 cards in my drop. And slowly try to snowball into a bigger drop zone to Legion back. Oh, really committing very little. As little as possible. I hope. Double heal check. No draw. Alright. Nope. Heal. Nope. Okay. Does he even have heals left? Yeah, he still did have heals left. Alright, goodbye my draws. It's been nice knowing you, my legions. My legions! Alright. I think we have to just stride into Raphael again. Stride into Raphael again, and this time put up like a stronger offensive. We have 4 PGs in hand, so we're kind of okay in the defensive side of things. So we just try to survive here with whatever we have. What do we draw? Another Stride Fodder, which is okay. Do I have anything worth healing out? Yes, this is fine to heal out. I do need to be careful with my legions too, because I do need to legion eventually. Otherwise I'll run out of gas. So... this is rough. That's all I can really say. This is rough. What we could do is use this skill here, put the Legion into the damage, and then grab a... I already have a Harut, but... if I grab the second one... it's not really worth it, huh? It's not really worth it. Might as well grab this instead. Grab this instead and try to push an offensive. See what we can do here. See what we can do. Because this can tag out and then Harut can replace the other thing, right? So let's see. This hits first, most important. This will tag out theoretically into another Harut, to be honest. So we do that, and then the Harut on the left will make a new attacker. How many heals do we have left? 1. I'm not too optimistic. I value the other attack more. I value checking a trigger here more. TBH. This is also countercharge, so that's good. That's good. We will take that. Call it over here. And then with this, we can still swing at the rear, I suppose. Still rough on all accounts. Still rough on all accounts. Oh, I didn't have a Celestial in hand to put back. Okay. Well, 1 trigger equals a hit. So that's also good if we can actually find one. We do not, which is unfortunate. And a heal guard is going to protect, which sucks. Alright, we're going to just take out the Vanquisher here. Damn. Alright, I guess this is the Celestials get body deck and fight. So much for tier 1 clan. But I'm also just bad, I think. I don't know. I feel like when I was playing this deck on stream, I was doing pretty good. But maybe I gassed myself up too much. Gassed myself up a little bit too much. I mean, it's still not over. We have 4 PGs in the heal guard in hand. We can probably Legion this turn. Although I only have 5 cards in drop. Hey, this doesn't... Hey. This doesn't, you know... this doesn't take out my drop zone. I'm okay now. I mean, my front row is going to be gone, but I actually have a drop zone to Legion back. So we can make an offensive, especially if my back row stays alive. Because this only just it's an on hit and bind 1 from drop, so it's actually not super bad. Alright, swing with that first. Yeah, you need to hit. That's fine. Get the draw, which is cool. Although I'm running very low on Legions. Ooh, I'm also running out of ways to get the grade 3 back. Well, I have a Stride that I can rely on for that, but it's looking a little yikesy. Alright, heal that I can put back to deck. The rare heal I can put back to deck. The nice thing about this Legion too is that it's actually going to be given power to my front row, which is really good. Alright. Cool, we can put the PG back next technically as well. We don't need the CC too much. We get a heal we can put back as well, which is good. We're not gonna Stride, we're gonna Legion immediately. Put the heal back, put the PG back, and the 2 Legion mates, I guess? They're grade 2s, right? So they're prime targets to get bound normally. So I can finally Legion, which is good. Will keep me in the race. So that's also nice. I'm not valuing the pony super hard here. It can make an 18k. I have 1 trigger in deck, so it doesn't really make a difference. I think we're gonna pass on it. I think I'm gonna swing into rear, and we're gonna swing with the other one into Van to proc a heal guard, which will be the last one. And then we can activate the first PG of the game. Kinda hurts me to say that. Kinda hurts me to say that, but it is what it is. There we go. But there has been 2 PGs that went to bottom, but I feel like at this point they've been brought into. Harut is good if we survive here. 3 PGs with no multi-attacks, I think we will survive. Ah, no. Yeah, the Legion. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. That's 3 heals going back. Ay. That's rough. Yeah, no, Vermilion Legion is definitely the answer here in these situations. And that's gonna make my job a lot rougher. I mean, we're still gonna survive, but we're basically fighting with a Harut and a Dream. And if there's only 1 intercept, there's actually hope. 2 cards in hand gives me hope. So let's keep that in mind. There's a maximum of 2 defensive cards in hand right now, but the heals going back is pretty huge. Gonna swing here first. I will be PGing. I'll still PG all the way to countercharge my last 2 damage, which is cool. But even then, this game is rough. Please don't check the heal. Ah, you had to, you just had to. Oh my god. Okay, well, we're back up to 5 face up, which is good. But definitely not in the strongest of situations here. Oh, that's a good pickup. We are not going to Stride here. We are going to be going on the offensive and hoping that we can do something. Man, it's not looking good even then. Not looking good even then. We have to basically call something off the Harut and hope it hits the right numbers, basically. Like, we can check the heal. I think we have 1 heal left, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we do. I just found it. 2 heals left. 2 heals left. Okay. We need to hit this heal, essentially, onto this attacker with its little buff that it has. Alright, it's 22 with the thing there. 1 trigger and we might be able to win. It's very close. Okay, we get the heal. That's big. That's really, really big. This is also hitting for magic numbers. Okay, Danielle, that's fine. PG. Whew, it's all on this, ladies and gentlemen. It all rides on this 1 attack. Will it connect? It does! if he doesn't heal out of it. Yes! Oh my god, this matchup is tough. This matchup is tough. God damn, dude. We had so much stuff in bind zone. It's at this point it's good that Vanquisher doesn't have its second wave of support, because that would have decimated our game plan. Like, because then they get power for the stuff in their bind zone as well. It is painful. But yeah, guys, that is Celestials. This has been the Deck and Fight. A pretty long one because the first game took a really long time. I think the second game was a more average size game. So still really went down to the wire. It was really, really exciting. So yeah, it was a good time. It was a really good time. So let's quickly recap with the deck list itself, of course, for you guys to take a look at. There are more deck and fights coming through. I do need to start testing Murakumo. I haven't really played it much all this time that it's been in JP. I know you guys are having Genesis soon as well, so I want to cover that as well, plus all the other decks that have come out over recent times. And plus Set 6 is coming out in JP pretty soon too, so there's definitely quite a bit of backlog building up that I need to start working my way through. But yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope this gave you an insight on Celestials. Definitely some rough matchups we ran into today, but I think I still showed off what the deck can do, and I hope you guys learned a thing or two. But on that note though, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please do give it a like, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe. We're trying to reach that 50k, and we're getting closer and closer by the day. But otherwise, that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.